Well, hello everyone. It is Wednesday night here at 8 o'clock. We are live, broadcasting live on our weekly Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Every Wednesday night we do this hangout for you guys and for our guests here with the Prosperity team. And tonight's going to be a very, very exciting one. I know I say that every week because it's always exciting, the things that we do every Wednesday, just pouring the valuable information that we have to share with you guys. But I love the topic that we're actually talking about tonight, and it's really about email marketing, cashing in on email marketing, and really discovering the secrets to creating wealth simply through sending emails to people, which a lot of people struggle with. I know for myself, when I first got started online 6 years ago, I didn't know anything about email marketing. I didn't know what a list was, how to build a list. I didn't know anything about capture pages or autoresponders or anything like that. So if you're new here right now, and this is actually your first time dabbling in internet marketing, or maybe you've been in it for a little while and you still just don't understand this whole concept of email marketing, hang tight, get your notepads out, because what we're going to share with you tonight, and especially our guest because he's going to be doing the training tonight, and I'm just going to sit back like this taking my notes, even though I know a lot of this stuff, but I know that this guy right here has a lot of valuable information to share with you guys. So I'm excited to actually hear what he has to say about creating wealth and cashing in on email marketing. It's a skill set that you must have this skill set under your belt if you want to move forward with internet marketing. And the reason why I say that is because I saw actually a few people post that email marketing is dead. And if you ever see that somebody is saying email marketing is dead, you need to run the other way, because clearly they don't know what they're talking about. Because I have created a six-figure income online within just a little bit over the past year by sending emails. Okay, by doing certain internet marketing strategies like blogging and YouTubes and connecting with people on Facebook and driving people to an actual web page where you collect an email address and then your autoresponder does the work for you after you have set it up. And that's what we kind of want to talk to you about tonight. Because we want you to really get it right, because you've heard this before, and I will say it again, the money is in the list. Okay, you'll hear a lot of marketers say the money is in the list, and it's true. When you learn how to communicate with your prospects, the people that are actually requesting information from you, and if you don't know internet marketing, you need to learn internet marketing, and we'll get a little bit into that a little later. But if you learn how to communicate with your prospects who are requesting information, well, now you've just written your own paycheck. Let me repeat that, because I really want you guys to really understand that and write that down. When you start learning how to communicate with your prospects that request information, then you will write your own paycheck. And that's exactly basically what we did here, myself and Darren, who I'm going to bring out in just a second. I'm going to let him tell his story. You guys know a little bit about my story already. If you don't, I'll share it really quickly before I bring him on. I've been in internet marketing for the past 6 years. I got laid off from my job in 2008, almost 6 years now it's been. And, at that point, like I said before, I knew nothing about the internet, right? But I had to start from ground zero, just like maybe you are right now, just like all of the top people in any business, really. You have to start from ground zero. You have to start from that first step. And so that's where I was 6 years ago. And through the years, I've learned a few things. And now with our system and rubbing elbows with some of the top leaders here with our system, which is what we use as Empower Network, I've aligned myself with the right people, because that's another important thing, is that you align yourself with the right people so that you get the right information so that you can really start cashing in on your own paychecks, right? And that's what we found here, and we're going to share a little bit about that with you later on before we close out. So my story started out 6 years ago when I got laid off. I never looked back when I got laid off. I never looked back. Why? Because I had a vision, I had a dream, I had a mission to be at home with my little girl at that time. She was only 5 years old. She's actually 11 now, but she was 5 years old at the time, and I missed the first 5 years of her life because I had to go to a job. And because I learned skill sets, certain skill sets like the one we're going to share with you tonight, and this is just one skill set of many, which is email marketing, because I learned how to do that, I now created, a full-time income from home. Darren has created a full-time income from home. And if you read the email that went out, you read a little bit about his story and how he got started. He actually did exactly what you did. He read an email, he clicked the link, he put his name and stuff in the capture page, right? And he requested information, and then he took action, and now he's here teaching you how to do it. That's what internet marketing is about. That's exactly what you need to be doing. When you think about the things think about how you got here. Think about that for a second, right? Think about how you got here. And guess what's going to happen when we close out here? Right underneath this video right here is a button that says lock arms with us. And guess what's going to happen? Because we sent out an email, and chances are that's where you found us, if not maybe on Facebook or wherever you found us, but chances are you found us through an email. And if you found us through an email, I can guarantee you, at least for me, right? I know I'm going to cash in on tonight's hangout. And if you were part of our team, you would know how to do that, and you'd be cashing in on tonight's hangout too. Why? Because we simply sent an email that drove our prospects to this page, right? And now we're going to teach them the information. You may be one of them right now. We're going to teach you the information that you need to be successful on the internet. And now what's going to happen is you're going to click that link below, just like I did, just like Darren did, just like so many people on our team right now, the Prosperity team. We clicked the link below, and we took action and made a decision and got started. And because of that, hence, how we cash in on email marketing. So need I say more? Okay. So with that being said, I want to introduce my very good friend who I got a chance to meet for the very first time in Miami. I think was that the first time we met, Darren? What did we meet before?
Yeah,
I think that was the first.
No, we met in DC actually.
We met in DC. Okay.
DC, yeah.
So we got a chance to see each other again then in Miami, and I asked Darren to come out here on our team because he's crushing it, right? He's crushing it, and the guy knows what he's talking about when it comes to email marketing. So with that being said, I want to introduce you guys to my friend Darren, one of the leaders on our team, who is going to teach you email marketing. And in fact, when we need emails created for our team, who do we run to? Darren, because he's developed the skill sets on how to do that. So I want to introduce you to him now. He is from Canada, and I want you to share your story a little bit about how you found, this whole internet marketing world, and what has it done for you, learning this skill set. What exactly has it done for you? So with that being said, you take it away, Darren.
For sure. Okay, awesome, guys. I just left a comment in on the page. If you guys have any questions or anything, just leave a comment below, and I'm sure someone will see it and let us know that there's something that you guys want to get covered. First of all, I just want to thank Lisa for inviting me out tonight. it's an honor to be able to give to the community. It's an honor to be able to be asked to share what is working, and hopefully we can give you some, just like one little, tidbit of knowledge or just a nugget of information that you can take, and then tonight, right after we're done here, you can put it into action, and you can hopefully get a result. All right, and whether that result is you get maybe more engagement from your email list, or maybe you get a sale, maybe you get a new lead, maybe you use something that we talk about tonight to engage somebody in a conversation. Maybe you are just somebody that's looking for a way that you can just start communicating more effectively with your market, right? And maybe you don't even know who your market is yet. And what my goal is for you, what my intention is by the end of this next 48 minutes that you have, whoops, I'm getting a call from Kentucky. I don't know anyone in Kentucky, but that's cool. Hold on, let me just mute this, guys. Anyway, actually, that's the cool thing. I put my phone number now at the bottom of all my emails, so I get phone calls from all over the world, because one thing that I've learned, if you can take one thing away, is that people want to connect. Okay, people want to trust, and people want to connect. And people just want to know that this is for real. And I'll just share with you right now kind of how I got started, and it all comes down to what you need to be doing going forward, because I look at my story of coming into this industry as a great example of the power of online marketing and the power of the influential nature of emails, of storytelling, of videos, and of just value being provided to the marketplace. And at that point, when I first got started, I was the marketplace, right? I was that quote-unquote target market that everyone is trying to find. The best way to find out who your target market is find out who you are, right? And find out what your problems were at that moment in time. So if I just want to take you back a couple of years, and this will literally give you a blueprint as to what you need to do to start getting people signed up in your business, and getting people signed up that are ready to take action. Because here's a real key that I've changed in my business lately, is I want people in my business who are prepared, who are knowledgeable on the fact that this is not a get-rich-quick scheme, and who are knowledgeable on the fact that there is going to be a process to follow, and that the steps are what makes it successful. Okay? The person that you put into that process is a huge part of the picture. Their reason why is a big part of the picture. But the fact of the matter is, when I'm marketing now to people in the, in the world, I want to work with someone, and I'm trying to attract someone that understands that there is going to be a process to follow once they get started. So let's just go back a couple of years. See, I was in a place in my life, I started in life insurance, and I've done, financial planning, and I've been in that industry for around 10 years now. I got started really early, right out of college, when I was around 21 years old. And by the time I was 25, I was already earning a high six-figure income, and we had a life that a lot of people would kind of, kill for. I had a home, nice cars, a wife. She was pregnant with our second child, and we had basically built a life that everyone looks at and says, that is a great life, how can I get that? But what nobody really knew was that under the surface, right under the surface, we were living sort of a lie, when we had built that lifestyle on an income that wasn't very stable. We had ultimately built it on sand. When they say you've built a castle on sand, or however they say that, whatever that phrase is, that's ultimately what we had done. And I had put my kind of income and my family at risk because of a couple of decisions I had made in my business. And I had put ultimately all my eggs, not just all my eggs in one basket, but I had put the yolk of an egg in one shell, and that shell cracked. And everything basically came stumbling down, and we ended up losing everything. We actually ended up, I lost my job, I lost all my income, I lost my home, our cars, and ultimately it was a moment in time when my wife got a knock on the door, and she was told that she had 30 days to get out of our house, or they were going to just lock the doors. And that was how she found out that our house was in repossession. She didn't know. I didn't tell her. I was trying to kind of build something that I could with what I had and what I knew. And at that time, that's all I knew how to do was just try to rebuild just by myself and kind of struggle silently, but have this facade that everything is okay. Now, in that moment, I felt like a failure. I felt like I was just losing any sort of momentum that I had in my life, and I felt like an absolute failure. So we ended up, starting from scratch. I got a new job. We moved in with her parents. We gave birth to our second daughter while we were living at our in-laws' house upstairs in the other bedroom, and the emotions that I felt at that moment in time were not of self-pity, were not of the fact that I had gotten here and what have I done. The thought process of an entrepreneur is, what am I going to do now to get to that next stage? What am I going to do now, right? And how am I going to take action in this moment to get to that next level of success? And when it really came down to it, I didn't know anything about this industry. I got a job and I was trying to kind of just make ends meet. And I wrote that in my email today. I got another job. I was earning 6 figures, but in the place that we live, in the area that we live in our city, that's not a lot of money to raise a family of 2 children, a spouse that you want to stay home with your children and have a lifestyle that you were accustomed to. So I did whatever it took. I worked a second job, and I worked full-time, and I worked a second job, and we were raising our family. And it got to the point where I was always up late at night looking for ways to make money, and I was trying to figure out what I could do. And my wife's friend invited me over to her house. I went to one of these, home parties and showed me the video and all this kind of stuff. And her sister was making, $30,000 a month, and it was one of those people from high school that I was like, she's really making $30,000 a month? Are you kidding me? Right? Have you ever seen those people in this industry that you're like, are you really making money? Is that really for real? And you shake your head because you think, how is that person doing it and not me? And that's how I thought. And so I thought, you know what? I'm gonna get rich in this thing. I'm gonna do this, and I can do this. I saw the plan, I saw the video, I saw the circles and the plan and how it was supposed to all work out. And eventually I would have like my whole, the whole Western Hemisphere was going to be in my downline. And I got the bug. And then what happened was I went from looking for ways to make money to looking at ways to build my network marketing company on the internet. And I found videos from guys like Dave Wood and guys like Jordan Schultz and people in the Empower Network community. And I started to follow them. I started to learn different strategies. I started to learn how to create content online. I started to learn how to use Facebook for marketing. But one thing that was consistent throughout the whole thing was that they were all collecting my email address. They were all getting me on their email list, and then I would get these follow-up emails every single day. I didn't really know what it was at the time, but I would get these emails every day of stories of people who were having success. But the one thing that really got me, and I want you guys to really understand this, the thing that actually got me was they were telling my story, right? They were telling my story. I was the person who was trying, that whole story that I just told you. They knew who I was as a person, that I was someone that wanted something more. I just didn't know how to go out and get it. And I had a vision of what I wanted to achieve. I just needed to know what tools I needed to use to build the house that I had envisioned on paper. Right? So what happened was they started sending me emails about different people and what they were able to do. I got emails about someone who was struggling and who had gotten fired from their job, and that used their system that they were promoting at the time in order to get leads on the internet for their network marketing company. And that's exactly what I was looking for. So there's lesson 1 for you tonight. I want to basically break this down for you into really three keys that you really need to understand while you're marketing through email, okay? I could get into the technical aspects of things about how to set things up and the formatting and all that kind of stuff, but I want to tell you something. All of that really doesn't matter unless you understand these 3 fundamental principles before anything else. And when you understand these things that we're going to talk about, okay, and I've already kind of revealed one of them to you is knowing who you're talking to better than they know themselves. That one key can make you as much money as you want, okay? Because the one thing that people want as a human being is to know that people understand you, right? Empathy, that people understand, what you're going through, and they have a way out, all right? So write that down. Empathy is the number one thing that you need to be working on, and that is understanding the feelings, emotions, circumstances, awarenesses, and lifestyle of your target market, your avatar, right? The person that I talk to all the time right now is that person, like me, a father or a mother, okay, who wants to spend more time with their family, right? They want more free time with their family. They want to get rid of their 9-to-5 job. They commute, and they're sick and tired of, basically working for someone who's dumber than they are, right? How does it feel being the smartest person in the room making the least amount of money, right? That's always how it is in any sort of, corporation or, environment where you're an employee, right? I 100% value entrepreneurs, right? People that start businesses and hire people who work for them. However, being an employee who is built differently, right? Who is built as an entrepreneur but is in an employee structure, right? That right there is like being a bear in a cage, right? It's someone that always will have that inner gnawing, right? Knowing that there's more for them, okay? So that's who I talk to. I talk to the person who knows there's more for them and just needs to know a way to get out, basically is finding a bridge to get to that point, right? Someone that knows they need to make a decision, but knows that they're not going to make a decision until someone kind of nudges them, right? It's like that bungee jumper that just needs that extra little push, right? That extra 2 seconds of saying, you know what, you can do this. That's who I want to be when I email people. I want to be the person that people can read and say, you know what, this guy's been emailing me every day now for like a year. I'm finally ready. And when that person's ready, they're ready, and they're ready to go, right? Because when I started getting that and I got into this industry, I was ready, and I was that guy that just got in and said, okay, what do I do? I need to do everything possible. I learned everything. I just took action, started, building a list, getting a blog. I started Facebook marketing. I did everything. I was that guy that was just like, okay, I'm just going to do it. And the one thing that I realized worked was email, right? But the first thing you need to know about email marketing is really the same thing about all marketing, because all email is a way to connect with your prospect, right? It doesn't matter if it's on Facebook, if it's email, if it's text message marketing, if it's Skype marketing, or Snapchat, or you're on Vine or Google Plus or all these social networks. Email is just a way to connect with your audience, right? So email being quote unquote dead is kind of a false assumption, because I read my email every day, right? I still get emails every single day. I still send emails every single day. Now, the ones that I actually want to receive are very different than the ones that get deleted, right? So I try to act more as a friend, right, than kind of a corporation, right, sending this message out. So I want to connect with people. I want to connect with people and let them know that I understand them, right? That nobody else understands you better than I understand you. Why? Because I am you. And look what I've been able to do. And here's a method that you can do this as well, right? That's the only real thing we're trying to accomplish with email, is just get that person a little bit closer to making a decision every single day. And then eventually they're going to make that decision, right? So that's the first thing, is understanding who you're talking to, right? So, excuse me, one way I research my target market is I go where they are, right? I hang out where they are. I look for similarities in who I am and who I was at that point in time, right? Because I'm not marketing to the person, I'm not marketing to myself today. I'm marketing to the person who's ready to make a decision, right? In some ways, I'll look for other leaders and say, okay, well, what are they doing, and do they want to kind of partner together and build this? But the masses, the mass, team building is really going to come from people who are at that point of making a decision. So I want to give you a kind of a way to find information about your target market and find ways to actually use the place that they are in their life in your messaging, because that's ultimately how I've been able to convert a lot of people on my email list. Like I've been building my list for I guess it's been when was it? 2011. Almost three years now. I've been marketing online. It was actually January of 2011 that I was invited to that party, and in April I went online because I actually looked at the account that I had created for that company, and it was April 2011, and I remember starting to build my list. But what I wanted to do was not build my list with crap, right? Not just fill it with people that I thought, I have a bunch of people on my email list. I wanted people that were actually in my target market. So I only have like 4,000 people on my email list, and I've been building it for like 3 years, right? Which is like really, it's actually very small. I was talking to a few guys at our Miami event, and some guys have lists are like 50,000 and 100,000 people on their list, which is that's where I'm going. I'm focused now on building my list, but what I needed to do is really understand who I wanted to build it with. Right? So I wanted to fill my list with people who I knew they needed what I had to offer, and they were the type of people who also wanted what I had to offer, right? So my whole list is basically built up of those type of people, and now it's just my job to continue communicating with them. And eventually some will convert into sales and join my team, some won't, right? I just had someone join my team who has received, I think, 600 or 500 or 600 broadcast emails. And he joined my team. And that's someone that's been consistently getting messages from me for the last 2 years, right? And eventually it just happens. So I want to give you guys kind of the fundamentals behind it, because we have I don't know if everyone on this call, a lot of people are in our team already, and this is kind of a training for our team, and other people aren't, and you're kind of just seeing, is this community really do what it says it's going to do? And what I'll tell you is, if you want to know how to really build an email list that's targeted, if you want to know how to build a raving fan base, if you want to know how to ultimately connect on a number of different levels, through different ways and means, we have a product that's called the 15K formula. And that product alone, I would say, is probably the best value out there when it comes to learning how to, number one, gather leads, gather prospects, and then communicate with them, convert them, and ultimately scale that marketing up so you can build it bigger and bigger and bigger. So all the technical stuff I don't even want to touch tonight, because we have that, and that product is something I go back to on a regular basis to reference, because the what is in there is timeless. It's principle based. It talks about the technical aspects, but it's also the principle and why you're doing what you're doing. Okay, so the first email strategy was ultimately knowing who you're talking to, right? And there's a couple of ways that you can do that, and I want to show you. Let me see here. I'm going to actually show you guys a strategy that I used, that I made kind of a 3 email series from, and this is something that you guys can do tonight, and maybe write this down. Is this is kind of like what your homework can be tonight? Okay, I want you to write. Just here's your goal. Write a 3 email series. Okay, and what this 3 email series is going to be is just going to be a hook. Okay, which is basically you're going to tell someone something that is going to get them interested. Okay, kind of like a preview, right? Then you're going to send them another message, and you're going to say, here's what I'm offering you when you do XYZ. And then in the next email, you're going to say, here's what I'm offering you. And basically that can be, if you join my team, I'll give you, another webinar, and I'll teach you how to do XYZ, or, something. But let's go through this right now, because this 3 email strategy has been responsible for a lot of the successes that I've had. And you can do it really anytime. It's not once someone gets on your list, they have to get these 3 emails. It could be literally starting today. You say, okay, I'm going to send 3 emails at the beginning of every month, and it's going to be, kind of a promotional cycle. So the first thing is finding out what people want. So giving them a hook of why to deal with you, right? Why do they want what you're offering them, right? So what I did, and I'm actually going to share this. Let me share my screen if I can. Let me see here. So I go off on tangents because I drink coffee late at night. So hold on a second. Hold on. All right, hold on. Can you hear me still? Or am I talking to myself? Good? You're good?
Yes, I can hear you, Darren.
All right, good,
I
good,
hear
good,
you
good.
perfectly fine.
All
You're
right.
good.
It's funny. All right, hold on a second. I'm just going to share my full screen with you guys, and I'm going to go into Facebook, okay? So when I'm in Facebook, the first thing that I'll actually do is I'll go for, actually, this is very interesting. This person right here, okay, just started promoting another product that I actually gave her a sample for 3 years ago. She just started promoting it. So there's the power of tenacity. I'm not in this company anymore. I don't promote it. I gave her a sample 3 years ago, and then a month ago she started promoting it. So you never know who's going to actually pop up to be a business builder. So, all right, so here's what I do. If I'm targeting, let's say, other network marketers who are looking for a way to promote their network marketing company online, all right? Because we have training products that help do that. We have training products that help people, do free marketing, video marketing, blogging, and we also have products that help you do paid marketing, right? And everything kind of in between. So what do I actually do to get into the mindset of that person? Well, the best thing that I think of doing is actually going and seeing how they talk to each other, right? So if I go on Facebook, I actually go into groups like, let's say there's companies like, My Lead System Pro, let's say, right? So I'll actually go into their group, okay? So let's say I go into their group, right? And I will actually go into conversations and see what people are talking about, okay? So I'll say, this guy says, I'm new to the community, I'm getting things set up, I wanted to say hi, okay, that's good. A lot of people will actually have questions and answers when it comes to marketing online, right? So this one says, is anyone familiar with get response? When I get a lead, should I blah, 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 what should I do? Okay, so I might, let's say I was somebody that promoted GetResponse, or Aweber or something like that, or I had another autoresponder company that I was an affiliate for, right? I could actually take this question, right, and use that as something that I could provide value for in a blog post, in an email, or something like that, okay? But I'm looking for something more specific, okay? Let's see here. This is like right on the fly. I have no clue if I'm even going to find anything. Let's see here. Okay. Long distance. Okay, so here. It's been a while. Could someone enlighten me on what happened to training tutorials on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest? Okay, so this one right here, all right? This is somebody who is actually in the community, in network marketing, and what they're trying to do is find out how to basically get leads on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, that kind of thing, okay? So what I might do is actually, right here, let's see, for example, I'm going to show you what I did. So that's just one thing, okay? But what I found when I was looking before, and I'll show you exactly a 3-email series or a 2-email series that I actually ran with my own list, okay? So here's what I did. I was in a group like that. It was another network marketing group, and it was somebody that basically was looking for, and this is kind of wording that's used in our industry. We're saying, go for no, right? So people that are using the phone for prospecting, kind of quote unquote go for no, right? So the more no's you get, the closer you are to actually getting someone that will say yes to you. Okay, so that's just one kind of a thing that people do, right? But I built my business not talking on the phone, right? And focused on ways that I could get leads, not actually calling them, right? Now I talk to people, like I'll put my phone number in my email, I'll say call me, and that's not a problem. People call me, and I talk to them. But the cool thing is that a lot of people out there are struggling using the phone to prospect, right? So here's what I would do in that situation. If someone is kind of looking for ways to get through to people or get more leads or something like that, I would say something like, do you use the phone to meet new prospects, right? If I know that the people on my list, right, are targeted in network marketing companies, or they are, looking for ways to build their network marketing business, what is the first thing that someone teaches you when you join a network marketing business? Is pick up the phone, call your warm market, call your real estate agents, call cold markets, and all these kind of things. But the one thing that people struggle most with is picking up the phone, right? So why don't I help them by giving them a way that they can get people coming to them, all right, with our products, right? So here's what I wanted to do. I said, here's the hook, right? Do you use the phone to meet new prospects, right? And I wrote basically an email saying, here's a story you may relate to. I just saw on Facebook a network marketer who was shooting for 10 no's or 3 follow-up appointments, whichever come first, okay? This means that he's making over 30 calls a day to people he doesn't know, hoping 3 of them will show some interest, right? So basically putting it in context for this person. His main concern, once he gets off the phone, it becomes difficult to get them on the phone again, right? And this is something that I personally had a problem with. I used to, here's what my daily, hold on a second. How do I turn this off? Guys, I'm like a technical not happy. Okay, here was my daily regimen when I was prospecting. I would post ads on Craigslist in the morning, right? I would basically commute for an hour and a half, and I would get to my office and I would post like 4 ads on Craigslist, right? In all different kind of time zones and areas. This is when you could kind of do that en masse, right? And I would get them to fill in an application, and then on the way home, I would call them all, right? That was my life, right? Where I would basically, get people to talk to who are looking for jobs, actually, not even looking for businesses, and then I would call them. They'd fill out this application. The majority of the time they would send me their resume for some reason because they thought I was some boss, trying to hire them. And then on my way home, I'd have an hour and a half drive. I would call all these people and try to close them into my network marketing business over the phone. So I knew the pain of doing that, right? So that's ultimately what I wanted to talk about when I was kind of emailing these people. Was I need to talk about the pain that was going through their mind, all right? So this is basically what I said. This guy's main concern was once he got off the phone, it becomes difficult to get them on the phone again, which this is exactly what I was going through. This causes his sales to plummet. Have you ever had this problem? And the answer to this is obviously yes. I want people to go down what's called a yes track, okay? And what that means is that you get them saying yes as many times as possible, okay? Use the phone to meet new prospects? Yes, right? They open it, right? They go through this, they're nodding their head, they're saying, yep, I've been there. Okay, have you ever had this problem? Yes. All right, when I first started working from home, I'd used anything and everything to get people interested. This meant talking to friends, strangers, or even the mailman. I did it. And guess what? I made no money. Okay, so there's 2 things I want to look at here. All right, and number 1 is talking about current events, what I just saw. Okay, this is actually happening right now on Facebook. Okay. And then I take them back and I say, when I first started, and I could have said, 3.5 years ago when I first started, this is what I did, right? Because it's making them feel like someone's doing something today, getting no results, that I did a few years ago. And here's what happened to me as well. So this is actually confirming the assumption that by doing this type of activity, they will get the same result, right? So by sending an email to someone who is as you know, the majority, probably 99% of people who are new to a network marketing company are running around calling people, or they're afraid to call people and they're just telling you they are calling people when in fact they're not. All right, they're filling out their call sheets with false numbers, right? Who else has done that? All right, and you know, I used to be in these contests for the most three-way calls, right? I would just like say, yeah, I got, you know, all these calls, right? I just cheat because, you know, I just didn't even want to get people on the phone, right? But I wanted the prize, right? So anyway, basically take them back and say, when I first started, I did this too, and I got the same result. Now fast forward to today. So bring them back to current day and say, you know what, using some fast, simple, and easy systems my team has put together, I'm able to get 20 to 30 people coming to me every day without using the phone. You know, sound like something you'd like? Yep. All right, click here and see how you can do this too. Right? Very, very simple. Right? This email is super simple, but what's included in this email are like multiple points that you're going to literally get the person saying, yep, I get it, that's what my problem I'm having, I hate doing this, yep, I'm getting the same results, yep, oh, you have a new way to do that, oh my god, you're getting 20 to 30 leads a day without using the phone, you're damn right I want this, okay? And you're basically saying, here's what I did, right? Here's what I'm doing now, here's how you can do it too, right? And using stories of real life examples in order to actually have this happen. And then you say, P.S. My friend Chris has an awesome video where he shares exactly how to use it starting today. In fact, you could be making money within 24 hours. Click here to see how. All right, guys, this is super simple, right? I want you to understand that emailing is not complicated, right? Because people are very simple when it comes to what problems they have and what problems they want solved, right? The simple problems of the people in our market is they don't have enough money, or they have money but they don't have time. They don't have time with their families, and they're looking for everything, and they're being told to do things that they hate doing, right? So why not show them? And here's the deal, guys. What we have in our community is something that actually works, right? We have a system that actually works. And the only time it doesn't work is when someone tries to throw a cog in the wheel and say, well, I tried this and it didn't work, and then you really look at what they're doing and they didn't use the system, right? That's when it doesn't work, is when you kind of, you know, you run a McDonald's franchise and then you come in and you say, well, I'm not going to use your potatoes. I'm going to use the cheaper ones that, you know, get sold at the local farmer's market. But you want to know something, guys? Those other potatoes aren't going to taste the same, and they're not going to get the same result. So you're going to get people coming and saying, well, people aren't buying my French fries, right? But the fact of the matter is you're not selling them the French fries that they came to buy, right? So these are the problems people are having. They don't have enough time. They don't want to talk on the phone to people and prospect and poke and prod at all of their family and friends and go over to their neighbor's house and be that annoying guy, right? The annoying person that's always got something to pitch at a party, right, that no one wants to talk to, right? I was that guy, so I get it, right? So talk to that person because they're feeling the same pain that maybe you were feeling as well. And then the next email I sent, I'm just going to go through one more, okay, and then Lisa's going to close it out because this is the biggest one out there, okay? Information overload, right? So I looked into all these little things, and I actually surveyed my list, you know, and all kinds of stuff, and a lot of these answers are from, you know, my list and stuff like this. But these are real people's questions and wording that they actually have, okay? So the one thing I said is, you know, do you have information overload? And here's this process, guys. Number one, the hook is that you want to be able to get leads and make money online without using the phone, okay? Now, am I saying that no one's ever going to have to use the phone? No. I'm just saying if this is something that interests you, okay, you're basically hitting a hot button, okay? Getting someone on your side, okay? Now, you say, look, have you got information overload? Right? A lot of people in this industry that come online are looking for stuff all over the place, And there's so much information out there that a lot of people just don't know where to start, right? And the worst feeling that you can have as a person when you're trying to get started is when you just can't get started, right? And you're sitting down and your spouse is on the couch and they're saying, when is it going to start working for you, right? And all you can think in your head is, holy shit, I've been doing this for 3 hours today. I've got no results, but all I've done is watch a couple of videos and everyone else seems to be getting results. Why can't I get results, right? So you want to know something, guys? Talk to that person, right? If you're having a problem, the best thing to do to stop having that problem is to be a problem solver for somebody else, right? If you're having problems, go solve a problem, right? That's the best way to get rid of your problem. So how do we do that? We do that by sending people information, okay, and telling them stories that are actually going to solve their problems. And by doing that, you actually feel better about yourself. You feel more certain that you can do this, and you also eliminate a lot of the problems that you might think that other people are having, right? So here's one thing, right? And one email that I wrote, and this always gets good results because it's very, very simple, okay? So I wouldn't be surprised if you don't know where to start with this whole internet money stuff or making money on the internet. In this email and in this video, you'll discover some easy to implement directions that will give your business opportunity a much needed boost, right? Here's my 4-step foolproof formula, right? 1, take action. Fail more than anything else. And I give a little bit of stories about successful people who have failed the most. Michael Jordan, Abraham Lincoln, Steve Jobs, right? Get the point? See another, yep, I get the point. So they've already said yes twice by doing this, okay? Do whatever it takes to learn and take even more action starting immediately. That's what I did when I first started. I had no clue what to do, who to listen to, but when I started taking action, all the pieces fell into place. Number 2, find a mentor. Find someone who knows what they're doing and do it. If you need help finding a mentor, click here to see the resources on our team, right? And then I send them to like the frequently asked questions or a summary of our team or one of our videos that includes information about our team. Number 3, never quit. If you have a strong enough reason why you got started online, then nothing can stop you. Take action, get a mentor, and never quit. If you want to know how I finally rose from epic failure to industry success story, here's the Coles Notes version. And I put a little link here, okay? And then P.S. Step 4 is the most important. You need to know what it is to take action on, because if you miss this step, all the previous work will be for nothing. This is my personal favorite, step 4, okay? And I don't include step 4 here because step 4 is getting started on our team, okay? So including information for people, all right, including information to people. I'm actually going to take this off my screen. Okay, but include information that people actually want, right? Give it to them in a way that's simple for them to understand, and don't try to gloss over everything, right? Just be straight to the point. People appreciate that, right? Right now, like the highest, what's it called? Highest value that people have right now in the marketplace is trust, right? And it's so scarce that when you can actually provide something to someone in a way that they like to receive it and be someone that people can trust, right? If you can get people to trust you and pay attention to you, you win every single time because there's so much stuff out there, right? I was talking to this guy who was going to kind of partner with us and join our team, and he had been involved in so much stuff, and I didn't even know what it was, right? I was like, you've been involved in all that? Right, so he showed me all this stuff, and I started looking around on these websites, and my head almost exploded, right? Because it was like, it was one of these things where you go and you have to like spin these wheels, and then you make credits and you get cash, and it's like the weirdest stuff I've ever seen in my life, and all these flashing numbers, and you got banners and clicking, and I got overwhelmed just thinking that he was involved in that, right? And the fact of the matter is, that's what people are seeing out there, right? As much as we want to bring a new level to the game, there's always going to be people kind of going to the lowest common denominator and saying, here's a click button way, push button way to make money. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to, talk to your friends. You don't have to, you don't even have to click. We'll click for you, right? You just open this window and it just runs, right? And then money's going to come pouring out of the sky, right? That's always going to be there, but the benefit that you have, guys, is that you can kind of bring yourself to a new level, right? You can bring yourself to a new level, and you can bring trust to your prospects, right? Because when you have their trust, you have everything, and that's pretty much my story. I mean, I'm tired, but I can go for another hour if you want. Does anybody have any questions?
I know you can go for hours and hours, and I can actually sit here and listen for another 2 hours too, but we want to kind of keep this short and sweet tonight. There's a few things that I wanted to kind of point out that you said, Darren, just so that I can kind of paint the picture for those that don't get it, because I know that there's a couple of people that might have some questions and stuff like that, but just to paint a quick picture of what Darren is talking about, it's really simple. When you open up the email, your email wants to be formatted in a very simple way. And from what the notes that I took from Darren, it goes a little something like this. You ask a question to get them to say yes. That would be the headline, right? Am I correct, Darren? It would be the headline. So your headline is to ask the question to get them to open. If you ask them the question and they can relate to that question, they will open that email. Because the very first thing and the most important thing when it comes to email marketing is the headline, the subject line, period. Because if your subject line is boring and not catchy, chances are they're not going to open it. But if you ask like a question, or you put something there that's really catchy and is going to get them to open, that's what you want to do. So ask them a catchy question, right? Ask them a catchy question in the subject line. And then once they open it, you tell the story, or you add some kind of current events, maybe an experience that you just went through, like what Darren was just talking about, how he went to Facebook and he found the problem, right? Mm-hmm. So you share the problem, you tell the story, and you create that problem in the email. You create it as a story, as if maybe you were sitting with a friend face to face, talking to them, telling them the story, not as you're trying to go out there and pitch somebody on a solution, right? Yeah. So you want to share the story. You want to share what the problem was that you found, right? So you ask the question, you tell the story, and you share the problem, right? And then you bring them to the solution. And the solution is actually your system, okay, which is our system here in Power Network, right? So when we go out there and we market, for us, our solution to email marketing, or actually the problems that he actually was talking about, which was basically, people are cold calling and harassing their friends and family, and putting up flyers and doing all these old school stuff. And yeah, they may work here and there, but honestly, what works better and faster and more in a leveraged way is building your list and working the emails, working your list through email marketing.
I wanted to follow up on something that you said there, because I think it's really important. And I was looking at some of the comments, and it kind of relates to it. One thing that Lisa was just saying is, the most important thing initially, you got to get your emails opened, right? You have to get your message seen, right, in front of people. It's like, you have a magazine and then nobody's actually opening it to see your ads, right? That's actually what we're looking at here, right? You have Chatelaine, for example, or Cosmopolitan. The front of the magazine has all these headlines, right? If you ever want to know like the best way, I'm actually going to give you guys a resource, okay? I have to Google it right now, but one of the best resources for, hold on a second, headlines, swipe file. Okay, so I'm going to actually put it in the comments after, but ultimately what it is, I found, I'm just going to put it in after. Cosmopolitan magazine, okay, one of the most successful magazines in the world, okay, when it comes to, revenue and advertising and stuff like that. The one thing that they're brilliant at is getting people's eyes to, first of all, find them on the shelf, right? And then buy the magazine and then open it and look for the information that's inside, right? And if you look at it as a Cosmopolitan magazine, what you'll find is that they're all like these headlines that you have to know what's inside, right? You have to know because it's like three wild and crazy things that Lindsay Lohan did that you'll be sick of, and make sure that your daughter never does this, right? And or something that Justin Bieber's doing that you better stop before your son does the same thing. And guess what? It's happening at your school, right? Like these little things that get people thinking, oh my God, I need to know what this is. There's actually a document that someone created, which is all of Cosmopolitan's best headlines in history, and it's like you almost want to go through the headline and find out what the article is about because they're so powerfully written, and that's great for really increasing the amount of open rates you have on your email. But the best thing that you can do over time is become someone that, regardless of what your headline says, when they see your name, when Lisa Torres pops up in my email or Darren Hanser pops up in your email, regardless of what it says, you're opening it, right? Because you want to know what's going on. You know that Lisa's going to provide you with the most recent, up-to-date training that's going on with whatever it is, social media marketing, YouTube, that kind of stuff, okay? You want to know that when Darren emails you, you're getting XYZ, right? So how do you do that? You do that by being extremely consistent over a long period of time and providing a lot of value, right? So if you go to Lisa's email list or any of the people in our community or in the marketplace, what you'll find is that there's people that I get their emails and I don't even care what it says. I just immediately I open it because I know that person, I want to hear what they're saying because they're always on. They're always on. They always have something good to say. I want to know what they're hosting this week. I want to know what's happening. That's the kind of relationship that happens when people start reading it and they think, oh, this guy's actually providing me with something that is interesting, right? I'm entertained. He seems to have some authority when it comes to learning how to market in this particular way, right? So when you do that, you'll actually become a natural authority. So you'll have to use the headlines and the email subject lines for the people on your list that don't really know you yet, and you're trying to get them kind of going. And then eventually it becomes kind of an organic thing where you're just communicating with them, right? Like it's just an email I'm getting from Lisa. Okay, here's Lisa. What's up, right? And it's like a natural. She's a friend, right? And that's the best way to have a relationship with your email list because eventually, like right now, it's so easy to delete. I go through my emails and I just highlight all of them and I hit delete. I don't even need to know what's inside. And that's the world we're living in. So you need to stand out and you need to be different. And by doing that, you can do it either by standing out, or you can do that by standing out by being just a better marketer or a better person of value, right? So there's a number of different ways. They all matter. So I just wanted to add that because I saw a few questions about headlines and segmenting your email list and all this kind of stuff. That's all advanced stuff. That's all done by the 15K formula. Go through that in depth because they go through all of that. But when it comes down to it, just provide value. Be someone that you'd be okay with receiving emails from.
Absolutely. I want to share my screen with you guys because I want you guys to whip out your pens and your pads because I'm about to give you some homework assignments for this week. You know me, I love giving out assignments and challenges and things like that to people so they can really start getting their creative juices flowing and really start getting into action when it comes to building their business. So I love giving assignments. So here's an assignment for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And when, we just talked about headlines. So one of the ways, Darren talked about, I think he said the Cosmopolitan. Did you say Cosmopolitan magazine? Which one did you say?
Yeah, Google. What are you going to Google? Headline.
Well, no, I'm going to Google. Here's what I'm going to Google. This is the homework assignment that I want to give you guys.
Okay.
Because this is one of the things that actually I do. So what I want you to do is, before you even get on Google, I want you to open up a notepad or pull out your notepads or whatever, and then get ready to take some notes. Okay, so when you go to Google, here's what you're going to put. And this can apply for any niche, anything that, any niche that you're in, really. So let's say you were in the health niche or the wellness niche, okay? So let's say, use that as our example now. So we would put health magazines. And we'll go to images. And if we look at some of the headlines, we talk about magazines, okay? You're going to pull up nothing but magazines. So if we clicked on this one, and I look here, let me make this a little bigger. Actually, I'll open it up here. If I look at this magazine, and I was trying to come up with a headline, right? I would just go simply look at the magazines and kind of tweak their headlines. Yep. So if I was selling a health product, I would maybe go to this one. Let's say, use this as an example. Let's see. Look great naked. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3 hours. Easiest workout.
That's actually something you would send.
Yes.
That's funny.
End bikini stress today. Open now.
Yeah.
If you were
so you can use this. You can actually use this and go like, 25 blank. Okay. You
exactly.
say, end blank blank. The perfect blank, right? Adding what you're benefiting.
And
right?
Prospecting stress.
Yeah.
And I don't know, whatever. Fill in the blank. And whatever.
And prospecting stress. It's very simple, right?
Exactly. 25 ways to blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I just got an email. 50 ways to make money from home, right?
Right. So if we were doing, let's say, the make money online niche or the entrepreneur niche or whatever, or home business niche, we can put home business magazines. And again, all of these will pop up. Okay, all of these will pop up. And now we can simply, just look at the headlines. What are they saying in the headlines? What exactly are they saying? Let's see what we could take from here. Overcome your fear of follow-up. That's a headline right there, right? And then in that email, you talk about follow-ups. Nail the next sales presentation, or you can kind of tweak that a little bit to say something else. So I think you guys get the point. Let me see. Where's my screen? I got to get back to you guys.
It's like a Twilight Zone. Ooh.
Okay, here we go. So I hope you guys got the point. We are actually 3 minutes behind schedule. We wanted to close out at 9 o'clock, but I really wanted to share my screen and show you that little trick that I actually use for myself when it comes to coming up with catchy and creative headlines. Just go to Google, type in your niche plus the word magazine, right? And then you will come up with a bunch of magazine covers where you can actually tweak and snatch and whatever it is that you want to do. Swipe an entire whatever. I've done that before where it was so good I didn't even have to change it. So that's your homework assignment for this week. Go ahead and go to Google, get creative, write down at least 10 titles, 10 headlines, set 10 subject lines, get creative, and then start using them inside of your marketing starting today. So Darren already talked about the 15K formula, and I want to cover that a little bit before we get out of here and before we close out. Get it. That's really all I gotta say. Just get it. Here's why. Because there's over 4 hours of intense email marketing training inside of our 15K formula, inside of our system. 15K formula, if you're not inside our system, it's basically a product where it has a bunch of free and paid marketing strategies that you can start implementing in your business. And inside actually there's 2 trainings in there. They're about 2 hours long each, so that's about 4 hours of email marketing training, and it goes in depth on what you need to, the things that you could, the strategies that you can start implementing when it comes to email marketing and building your list and things like that, and how to communicate with your prospects that are requesting more information, how to close them, how to get them to, how to make more sales basically through emails. And you definitely want to get your hands on that. So how do you get in the door to get your hands on that if you're not in already? Simply by clicking on the link right below this video. There's a button that says Lock Arms with Us. And just click that button, get in for $25, get into our, we have our own separate prosperity team training site where we do weekly trainings for you guys every single week. We do this hangout that you can actually start sending to your prospect and putting inside your autoresponder system. You can actually use this page right here and create an email campaign. Go to Google, get a catchy headline, and start marketing our training that we did right here. And you can start that by just clicking on the link below, and we'll get you started with that right away, starting today, as a matter of fact. So with that being said, we will see you next week. Thank you so much, Darren, for hanging out with me tonight.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'm excited. Now I'm pumped, and I got to actually do something. Maybe I'll do a couple of videos right now, but I mean, you got me all pumped up right now. It's 9 o'clock at night, and I've been drinking coffee and talking, so thanks a lot.
Right on, right on. Okay, so we will be at the same place, same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, every Wednesday night right here for the Prosperity Team Hangout. And hopefully we'll actually meet you soon when you click the link below and lock arms with us and join our team. What do I like to call it? Let's see, what can we call it? This is our mission. All right, this is what I like to call our community. It's more like a community where picture a whole bunch of people locked arms like this, right? Locked arms, like locked arms together, right? And we're actually walking the journey together. I'm not in front of you. I'm not behind you. You're not behind me. You're not in front of you. We're literally walking arms together and walking towards this journey to financial freedom. So if you want to be a part of that, click that link below. All it takes is for you to get started is just $25, and we will see you on the inside. We love you guys, and we will see you next week. Good night, everyone.
Peace. See you guys.